Welcome once again to Hunter's Entertainment here on Twitch.tv. My name is Knoxweiler Burf, and I will be your guide tonight as we walk the dark pathways of a long, distant forest, one that is surrounded with danger. You will be walking alongside us, and the choices that you make tonight may very well mean life or death for these characters. We have our players here with us again tonight. Each of them has been very clear with me. We have spoken about the safety protocols that we need to be able to tell you this tale. We would encourage all of you to also spend some time and read the content warning before we begin our journey. This is a story that is unlike perhaps others that you have heard. There is no magical sword that will save you, no dragon to slay. It is a different tale, one that takes us through the dark waters of human nature, one in which we can explore a world that has lost hope. And in doing so, we will guide you through the despair that exists there in this place. But together, as we walk, perhaps we will discover something new. Even in the dark realms of an apocalypse that seems to have no end in sight, as humanity hangs on the very brink of existence, perhaps we can discover something together. Something that proves that there is, in fact, something worth saving. That we can rise above the challenges that have been laid before us. And even in the darkest, most abysmal time, find strength in each other. Before we go further, I should inform you. There has been work done on your end already, but there is much more yet to do. As you join us tonight, you will be able to interact with us. Using the Foreteller Scry program that is in our panel below, we highly recommend that you sign into that application and directly take a hand in shaping the world that we are creating for you. As a survivor yourself, you will be able to choose where some of the most important resources are going to be delivered, who will receive them, and how our players choose to move forward, if our players are able to move forward. The choices that you make are very crucial to how this world will resolve itself. There are communities that are barely surviving, each of them reliant on the rag and bone merchants who guide through the Ender's Rail resources that must be delivered to them. Nothing is guaranteed here. Nothing is safe. Nothing is certain in these times. It is the year 2020. However, the world ended on May 29th, 1995. I'd like to take a moment to tell you that if you reach our following goal this week, our players will receive an additional competency point. That competency point may very well give them the edge that they need to survive for another session. If you do not reach that goal, I will not be gifting them with an additional point. Every week, as we progress now deeper and deeper into our dark tale, I have been lowering the amount of competency points that I am gifting them as a starting bonus. Currently, because of your work, they will receive an additional competency point this week. However, they will only have 5 for the entire session. Next week, if you reach the goal, they will have 4. We will see what happens the week after that. Also, if you have been engaging with us on social media, we appreciate your effort. We're very thankful for the aid that you have lent us in letting everyone know that Outbreak Rag and Bone is alive here on Twitch. Because of your good efforts, we will be giving away a digital Outbreak Undead package, and it is not too late to follow through the steps that we require for you to enact to be able to be eligible for this giveaway. The winner will be announced this Friday on a very special Roll20 Con Hunters Gathering. We suggest you do as we have asked. Let everyone know the end is nigh. I'm gathered with my allies here in this storytelling, and I will give them now a brief moment to be able to introduce themselves and talk just a little about the things that they are doing elsewhere in the world. I'd like to start with Markia. Markia, could you tell people a little bit about what you are doing and who you will be playing tonight, please?
Hello, I'm Markia McCarty. Tonight I'll be playing Achira Sampson. Outside of this, and definitely have a number of other RPG irons in the fire. And if you like scary stories, since it is October and it is definitely the time for them, I narrate and host in Something Scary. It's animated horror episodes that go up every Tuesday, and there's an audio podcast involved where I read 3 to 4 more fan submitted stories that we adapt for the podcast. So find us on wherever you listen to your podcast, Something Scary, or on YouTube, youtube.com/snarled. As for Achira, Achira is a loner, but a loner, a loner by choice, but more of a loner by nature. So I wonder, it works for her when she's alone. She gets into trouble when she stays in a group. So we'll see how that goes for her moving forward.
I'm sure you have nothing to worry about, Markia. Luis, could you tell everyone a little bit about the good works that you are doing elsewhere and who you will be playing tonight?
Sure. Hey, everybody. I'm Luis Carrazzo. Ooh, let's see. Actually, I may be involved in another stream around the corner, so I might be able to report back on that the next time we meet, possibly. And This television show that I'm supposed to still in the works come back to, American U.S. television show, and and I have a short film that's going around. It's in a Seattle Film Festival right now, and so they didn't send me any details about that, so I don't even know how to get you guys to watch it. But if you follow me on social media, then I'll be able to get that out to you guys. And I'm playing Lampwick. Yeah, I mean, cheers, Achira. Markia's Achira got me, in last we saw them, button heads a little bit. I think we've been button heads a little bit here and there on occasion. Um, uh, yeah, is Lampwick a loner? I don't know if I know. I think Lampwick can thrive alone, but has not always been alone.
It's interesting that you say that.
That's all I got.
Michelle, welcome. Could you tell everyone a little bit about what you do elsewhere and what you will be playing tonight?
Hello, Internet. My name is Michelle Lynn Bradley. I am a professional RPG player, obviously. I'm on the show. I also do a show on Thursdays over at Dragons and Things. That is an afternoon show, which is good for you East Coasters. It's about wizards, and I play a very surly, slightly Eastern European hunter witch, and it's really fun. Anyway, that's on Thursday afternoons. I also am going to be in the Roll20 Con with everybody, with some people from Hunters. I'm going to be on Sunday, which I believe is Alice is Missing. All those details are up on Roll20 Con's website right now, and I believe Spencer is going to be jamming that, so I'm very excited to play that for the first time. And I also release videos every Friday on the Total Nerd channel. That is like a ranker.com subsidiary about video games. It's fun. I announce everything on my Twitter. It's over there. Tonight I am playing Juniper, who is the opposite of how I'm talking right now. We've learned last week that Juniper had a twin sister, and they were sort of like the weird children who grew up like in the wilds. And then she lost her. So I think Juniper is kind of trying to find a new pack, but is having a very difficult time relating to people because she never had to do that before.
She's a very unique individual, so it will take time, of course.
I would like to also remind everybody that one of us is a mole. I feel like we keep forgetting about this, so we should bring it up at the beginning of every episode.
Should we?
Yes. I forget also.
There is someone here who has not been entirely honest with everyone else. Someone is an ally, working alongside my storytelling to aid us in creating a sense of truth to what this apocalypse truly holds. Unfortunately, Melee is not with us tonight. Abigail will be present, and with any luck, she will survive. However, you can expect her interactions with you to be directed by my will and the choices that I make. You're in a very precarious situation at the moment, and though each of you have very differing points of view on both the world and how to proceed down the pathway that has been set before you, it is my pleasure to tell you that tonight, something very important will be revealed to you. And in that revelation, we will progress forward, much further than perhaps you were expecting. The world is alive. Surrounded by the dead. We have much to do. But before we start, allow us to share something with you, something of importance. We'll be right back.
Well, that long road, it keeps on rolling, doesn't it, Enders? We ain't out of the woods yet. Now, you may not have heard, but your boy 10-4, he's been ringing bells and raising hell, trying to make sure that thems that need to rag and bone for us can get the supplies off to the folks that really need them the most. Now, there aren't a whole lot of us left ever since everything kind of went to shit. And those of us that didn't flip the switch on our humanity, we're finally starting to make ground and get the connections we need to really start turning things around. Now, sure, we ain't got reliable electricity. We certainly don't have telephones. But what we do have is what we need the most: creativity and ingenuity. Now, let's get down to the skinny on what you all been certainly waiting to find out about running down these lines. We still got communities that are in real big need of some medical supplies. Like I said, there's been a flu ripping through breadbasket communities, and they hold this whole thing together. Now, if you can get your hands on some of this stuff, like I said before, we got crew running through and grabbing up fresh fruit, fresh grain, all of that from the recent harvest. Beyond that, our enders have been busting butt. We've got munitions, a little bit of gasoline here and there, maybe a VHS or two, some bootleg moonshine. So what I'm telling you is, if you can get these to us, we're willing to pay big. This is the best deal that I've given since last winter. Now, beyond that, I need you all to make sure, like I said, that you're staying safe out there. The wilds are a dangerous place, and make no mistake about it, you got a home on these rails. As long as you're one of us, you're in all of our hearts, and all the enders out there are going to be looking to take care of you. But other than that, watch your ass and stay safe. 10-4. Wait. For fuck's sake, I just remembered. If anyone can do me a huge favor and get their hands on some coca beans. Now, I know it's a long shot, but I've had some luck in the past with people being able to run some stuff from down south on up in regards to coffee beans, so I figure maybe it's a shot. I'm willing to pay for it, and the reason why is the retro punks over at Post 34, they keep arguing about their candy that they got going, who has the better recipe, and between you and me, I'm tired of this carob bullshit. It all tastes like those bullshit Coop bars from before the fall. So, what I'm asking is for you to do what you can to try to get me some coca beans so that I can show these boys what a real chocolate bar tastes like. It's clear that none of them have ever had a Baby Ruth in their life. Do what you can for me. I know you will. 10-4.
Welcome back. We're very glad that you're here. We have so much ground to cover. Though it is currently midday, you can never be too careful. Shelter is so far, far away, and every step that we make brings us closer to a fate that we do not understand, an end that we do not know. Somewhere deep in the woods of Pennsylvania, a state once known as Pennsylvania, outside of an old town that was birthed in an era where mining brought wealth and power to those who were willing to dig through the hard scrabble of the earth to ilk out a living. In a farmland that had risen to try to support that community. Four figures have barely escaped with their lives, fleeing from the safe house that they had camped within. Now, burnt remains and smoke are all that remains. The undead followed after. They had awoken an entire horde as it followed slowly after them. The charred corpses did not lie easy. They did not rest as they should have. They rose, and with great, endless hunger sought them out, following them down that rail line, the one that had been maintained by the Enders, end of the line, end of days. Those who gathered together and built safe houses along this portion of the Midwest of what was once known as the United States of America. It is 2020, but not the 2020 that you know. The world ended in 1995 when a virus worked its way across the population like wildfire and brought all of civilization to its knees. The illness was just the beginning. For those that died, were given a new life, a horrific life, as they turned upon those that they loved, those that they knew, and destroyed everything. A great, fetid horde swelled and grew and washed across the streets of our homes, our cities, destroying everything that they crossed past. And here in the midday, underneath the canopy of autumn leaves, the slowly creaking wind pushes those trees back and forth. A rain of red and yellow and orange falls from the sky as these trees shed their leaves slowly, leaving the decay underfoot. Lampwick, Achira, Juniper, you are standing together in this grove. Juniper, you are still in a tree, looking down at the strange sight before you. Abigail has moved forward, breaking away from the rest of the group, her hands open in a show of peace as she steps carefully towards the two individuals that have emerged from the trees further down the path. An old woman, older than any that you have seen before, Juniper, stands supporting a young man who seems to be ill, leaning heavily upon the elderly woman. They are both wearing black clothing that is immaculate. Their faces and their hands are clean. While the young man does carry a pack with him and the woman a side satchel, they do not seem provisioned to be this far away from any known community. And when she appeared to all of you, beseeching you for aid, she was singing. She was singing in the forest. Oh, children of the valley, walking hand in hand. Oh, children of the valley. Carrying her charge with you, she offered you payment for safe passage. Abigail had offered prayer, and she had accepted. And as your companion walks forward to this pair of strangers, each of you, respectively, hold your breath as the leaves crunch underneath her boots. She moves closer and closer. Bless you. Prophet's light upon you. Bless you, my dear. In another time, long ago, before the world fell, Lampwick, your headlights pull into the parking lot and you find a spot in the shitty motel in the shitty part of town. You are driving a stolen car. You've switched out the plates and you're looking for your contact. As the headlights work their way across the numbered doors of this sleazy motel, a figure emerges, a silhouette at first, a hooded individual. The zipper on the hoodie high up to the neck and pulled down low with the strings pulled tight. You only see the lower part of their face as they step out of the shadows and up to the car. This is your contact, Jerry the Mouse. Someone who helps you sell the vehicles that you borrow.
I roll down the window and I look at him.
Hey, it took you long enough.
Well, it takes as long as it takes.
Yeah, well, it could take a little less time next time because I'm telling you, I've got things to do, you know. This isn't all that I have going on in the city. Yeah?
Yeah, I get it. I get it. But so thank you for your patience. Here it is. What's next?
My patience is becoming a little more expensive to you if you do this to me next time. I'm just gonna say it right out front, okay?
Got it.
You're good, Lampwick. You're good. I mean, these are clean, and usually the people you take them from, they don't want to call the police right away for whatever reason.
I know. You're making it seem like I'm actually giving you a uniquely easy to manage service.
You would think so, yeah, but there's plenty of turds in the sewer, so don't get too cocky.
You're calling me a turd.
He just kind of like looks at you and he pulls out a wad of cash and he starts like peeling off bills.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this will make it a little bit easier to take down, eh? And he slaps the money into your hands. A wad of $100 bills.
Beautiful. I take it and I'm gonna hold his hand for a moment as the exchange is happening, and I look at him and I say, "I'm probably the nicest turd you deal with, ain't I?"
You're certainly one of the prettier ones, but guess what? I don't give a shit about that. All I care about is making money.
Well,
Hey, speaking of turds, Isabella wanted me to make sure that you got this. She's over in room 103. And Jerry gives you a room key for this motel.
I take it. Pleasure doing business with you. I will be as prompt as I can be next time, and I appreciate your patience.
Yeah, well, just make sure that Isabel knows that she is due next month. I'm not going to come back out here if I don't have to, all right?
I will relay that.
All right, well, don't get killed.
I will certainly try not to. I will exchange what we have to exchange. Get out of the car and head to the room.
Jerry gets into the car, drives away as you look down at this red door key that you are holding. And it says 103 on it. And you can see the doors in front of you. There is an attendant that is in a booth in the front of this shady motel who is just this very prodigious woman with a very tightly curled set of hair curlers and a bag over her head, and she kind of like glances up at you and then glances back down reading a magazine as you kind of cross across the parking lot. Do you go to 103 or do you do something else? There are some vending machines and other things here.
Oh, I'm always in the mood for a snack. I'm gonna go look for a candy bar from the vending machine. I have a specific one in mind.
Okay, you go to one of the vending machines, and it's fairly well stocked. It seems that they've taken care of at least this on site of the motel. It does seem like someone has been maintaining it. What are you looking for, Lampwick?
Ooh, I'm looking for chocolate.
Chocolate.
Oh no, what am I really looking for? I'm always looking for something that I can use to my benefit. Going to look for I see a Three Musketeers, and that's calling to me.
Yeah, there's the Three Musketeers there.
But I'm gonna pass, and I'm gonna take a Twix.
Okay. So you stand there, you press the keys, you insert a couple of dollars, and out drops a Twix bar.
I kick it and see if something else drops from it, because you know how those vending machines are.
You kick it once, and you think if you kick it again really hard, you might get something. Do you?
I do exactly that, because I do want that something.
You kick even harder, and the front of the vending machine cracks underneath your boot. But sure enough, the Three Musketeers falls out as well.
Oh, lovely. I take it. I look over my shoulder to see if that lady with the curlers in her hair is like even bothered to look around and see.
She seems fully oblivious to your action.
It's always the case, huh? So easy to be invisible sometimes.
Good help is hard to find.
Take my candy.
You take your candy bars. Do you go now to room 103?
I do, but I approach slowly. I would like to see if I mean 103 I will end up there, but I start to scope out 102 and 104.
101 is the first door that you pass. And it seems to be that there are a number of individuals inside. The TV is very loud, and you hear a couple fighting. You pass that room to 102. It seems as if it is vacant. There are no lights on, and it is very quiet. You pass by 103. There is a light on inside of it, and you move to 104. The door to 104 is open a crack.
I want to listen.
You get a little closer to the doorway, and you hear someone cry.
Somebody crying. Can I get a sense of what kind of person?
You're fairly certain that the sound is coming from a woman inside. She seems to be an adult, but the crying is muted, as if they are trying to hold it back.
God damn it. I start to walk away, and then Lampwick stops, turns around, gently knocks on the door.
The crying stops immediately, and you hear somebody who immediately rushes to the door. You see now that there is a chain that has been locked onto it, and although the door is open a crack, that chain still has a barrier to prevent it from being opened. You see tear-streaked, mascara-soaked eye appear from the other side. A middle-aged woman stands there. She seems distraught. What do you want? What do you want?
I don't want anything.
I don't have the money. I already told them. I did you are you bringing the fix?
What are you talking about? I just heard.
Are you delivering?
I'm not delivering.
Then get the fuck out of here. And the door slams.
I head to room 103.
You turn on your heels and step up to 103. Do you knock or use the key?
I use the key. I know who's expecting me.
You open the door and walk in, and sure enough, you do see Isabel. She's sitting on the console that has the TV on it. Her feet are kicked up into a chair. The room is an utter wreck, something that you and your companion did the other night.
It's nice to see that you've cleaned the place up.
I do what I can. She looks at you, and you notice that she is still in a uniform. She's wearing the uniform of a nurse, and she's smoking a joint and drinking a beer. She points over to the cooler in the corner.
I go straight to the cooler and open it.
You got to be a little smarter. You left pretty quick. I could have been gone.
You could have been gone, but you were not. What kept you?
I think you know. And she looks at you and she kind of wraps her arms around you and pulls you into a deep, passionate kiss.
I totally give in.
She stops after a moment before it goes perhaps a little further, and while you both seem to anticipate the end of this evening, Isabel wants to talk business, and she stops herself. What did you get?
What do you mean? What did I get? And I got what I set out to get.
Another car?
Yeah, of course.
Look, I mean, great. That's great. But I mean, really, baby, you're robbing housewives and fucking over middle-class losers. It's barely covering our expenses. And if you want to get to Cancun on our retirement fund, we're going to have to do better than that.
Hey, so any ideas? Because look, I'm doing what I can and I'm getting away with it just fine. And I toss her the wad of money and I, with my teeth, open up the Twix.
Yeah, I mean, like, great. But, you know, you used to hunt bigger fish. And I got to say, like, where's my monster at? You know, the guy that would go and fuck over a city councilman, or, you know, put a lawyer in his place, or you know, find some rich politician to squeeze dry. Right now, you're doing small time shit, and you're not a small time criminal. So I've got to start to wonder whether you have our best interest in mind or not, Lampwick.
All right. Well, maybe my priorities are shifting a little bit. Maybe I'm not as hard to satisfy as somebody else is that I know.
Fuck you. Okay, look, we decided together that we were doing the Cancun plan. That was us. That wasn't just me. You listen. It wasn't just me. You wanted it as bad as I did.
Did I really want it as bad as you? Really? I mean, I don't recall you actually giving me enough of a chance to tell you what it is that I want. You're the one that always calls the shots, and I go along with it because it's worth it for me. But you really think that that is what I wanted in equal measure compared to what you want?
I'm sorry. Maybe I was mistaken. Maybe you want to wallow here in the shit with the pigs.
I definitely don't want to wallow here in the shit with the pigs. But do you really think that you give yourself enough time to hear, to even try to hear what it is that I actually want?
Yeah, Lampwick. I think I do. One of us is fucking working. And she reaches into her shirt and pulls out a piece of paper and smacks it onto your chest as she walks over and gets another beer, cracking it on the windowsill.
It's fucking hot.
I got Vandergrift to sign. He called his lawyer finally. He rewrote his will. After 3.5 fucking years of changing that pervert's diapers, we're looking at a 7-figure payout. Is that fucking chump change to you, baby?
Holy shit.
So tell me that I'm not looking out for us. It was just a long con. It took a long time. That's the definition, baby, of a long con. You're pretty, but you're not always smart. And she rubs her hand against your beard and like kind of grabs your ear as she kind of like puts the joint into your mouth and then goes and throws herself onto the bed.
You are so hard to keep up with.
I've got a talent. You've got a talent too. There's a real problem though.
How can there be a real problem? You just like saved the world. At least our world.
The ink is fucking dry, but that old fucker's in remission.
Oh shit.
He's not gonna die anytime soon, Lampwick. And
Okay.
if you love me, if you really love me, you're gonna help me fix this now so that we can get the fuck out of here. I can't handle another year. I'm not gonna watch that old man grab my ass while I bend over his IVs and change his fucking colonoscopy bag. I'm not doing it.
So what do you want me to do?
Look, I would do it myself, but I can't. You know that. I'm the fucking inheritor of all of his fucking money. I can't be anywhere near that old man when he kicks. So Rebecca's going to be working the late shift next week. And you could slip right past that front desk and get the job done. If you get caught, just tell them that you came to pick something up for me. Nobody's going to ask questions. It's all fucking, the state doesn't even fund it anymore. It's all private. He's fucking rich, but his family doesn't fucking care. But you better believe they're going to come after us as soon as it happens.
All right.
Really?
I mean, fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him. And she puts her arms back around you and pulls you onto the bed with her. And the two of you fall deeply into a passionate embrace. She kicks the lamp off of the nightstand and it shatters, and everything goes dark. Achira, you're 13 years old. Your brother is holding the camcorder that he often tapes you with. It's an old VHS model. It's large and it's loud, but the image is okay. Oftentimes, you and he would spend late nights playing back tapes that you borrowed or sometimes stole, as you would watch TV late into the night. Your brother is there, holding on to the camera, and Blaine has always been, in every sense of the word, your bigger brother. Even at his age, he is muscular and powerfully built, wide shoulders and a strong gaze. He has sharp cheekbones and speaks of an internal quiet strength. But as he is your brother, you've always known how secretly sensitive he was, how open he was to all of the harm, the thorns that the world could throw at him. In so many ways, you've always protected him, guarded him, sheltered him from a world that would hurt him. And now you've brought him out here to prove a point. You're standing on the old 9th Street Bridge. All of the other teenagers call this Crybaby Bridge. And if the legends are to be held true, anyone who stands upon its expanse and shouts out over the river, "I have your baby" 3 times, will be forever cursed. You think this is utter bullshit, and you're about to prove all of the kids from your middle school wrong. Your brother is the unwitting accomplice in this scheme. You're going to make a point today, but as you stand there looking out at the river below, this large old suspension bridge seems cumbersome, tired. Perhaps it's just in your mind, but it feels as if the bridge itself gently sways in the breeze. Your brother nervously looks over his shoulder. The camera is pointed at you as you stand with your hands on 2 of the suspension wires. You talk a really big game. I didn't want to be out here in the cold. Are you going to do this or not?
First, I'm going to do this. It's like, it's not even going to be a thing.
All right, sis, but do it because I'm cold. Let's get out of here.
All right, you know, just give me a sec. Can I warm up? Can I warm up real quick before doing this? Is that okay with you, Blaine?
If it's got to be a performance, okay, but speed it up.
All right. It's like, oh. You know, you gotta do it from like right in your stomach and then like right up to your head, you know? So this is what real performers do, Blaine. So you know.
I don't care what Charlotte said. You're the one who dragged me out here because she's talking shit about this place.
Well, you know what? It's real stupid. There's no way this is a real thing.
This is for you. If this is gonna help you, yeah, let's film it. But I'm getting cold. Okay, so let's go. I'd like to not freeze my nuts off here today.
I'm sorry, Blaine. You're so cold. Oh no! Oh no! Blaine needs to have his heater. He needs to go back home and have his blanket.
Really? Are you gonna do this, Achira, right now? Because I'm the one holding the camera, helping you out. If you want to mock me, I'll just go home now.
All right, now okay.
He's like slowly turning around.
No. You know I'm playing. I need you. I can't do this alone. You know I can't do this alone.
All right. Just make it fast, all right?
Okay. All right, I'm ready.
Well,
I'm ready.
I'm filming. What do you want me to say? Action? Do you need action?
Yeah. Okay.
Action.
So, all right, but what I want you to do, like, let's do a different angle to this. Whatever I shout out, I need for you to also shout out after I say it. It's
okay.
gonna help me.
Why am I doing it too? I'm over here.
No, because I need you. What did I just
All right. Is it gonna get us out of here faster? Because I really want to go. All right.
Yes.
All right, fine. Let's do it.
Okay.
All right. Wait, is it a countdown or how do we do this?
Okay. All right. Ready.
Okay.
And then Achira in her head is it's like she strides over to the edge of the bridge and lays her hands on it, looking off to the side, and she screams out the incantation words. I have your baby.
And he follows with you. I have your baby.
She turns to the side and I have your baby.
I have your fucking baby. I have your fucking baby. And as your voices echo off the embankment of the river with that final "I have your baby," both of you nearly jump out of your skin as the horn of a truck passes over the bridge. Fuck that guy. That was not. That was
not cool. You saw that.
All right, but okay. We could maybe just film over that section later, so I don't. I didn't really jump. You jumped nearly. I was afraid for you there.
No. Like everyone's gonna know that you were holding the camera, and they were like, "Oh, that would jump. Blaine jumped so high."
All right. Well, look, I told you. See, I told you. Ghosts aren't real, right?
Yeah, no, I knew it was total bullshit. I knew it was. Why else did I had you out here with me so that we could both prove it to each other?
Yeah.
Like you're my bestie, so of course I'd have my bestie out here. bestie bro.
Nah, I'm your best friend. I mean, you've got.
No, I'm my best friend. I've got a best friend.
What
It's
about
not you.
Christine? No,
It's not. No, it's not you. I was just saying that.
you. All right. Well, I don't want things to get uncomfortable, but I love you too, Achira. And your brother turns, and the two of you kind of playfully walk down the bridge back to the main road, back into town.
Give
As
me
you
a
kind of
piggyback. Give me a
you
piggyback.
you jump onto his back, and he very happily carries you as the two of you kind of laugh walking down the street. In another time, you're thinking about that, Achira, about that moment, about that bridge, about that piggyback ride that he gave you, where he carried you. And you can't get over the last words that you shared with him. The argument. All the things that you said about her. All the things that he didn't want to hear. You told him the truth. You were protecting your bigger brother. And as you sat there in that cold, vacant waiting room, the veneered wooden door with the caged window opens, and a man in green hospital scrubs and black rubber gloves greets you. Achira Sampson.
Yeah, that's me.
I need you to sign these papers. The clipboard is handed over to you. The man is gaunt, very shallow along the cheeks, empty looking eyes that are unfeeling, devoid of any compassion in this moment. His balding black hair has been combed over in a way that makes him look greasy, almost wet. And he stares at you impatiently with the clipboard in your hand.
Do this a lot, do you?
The man shrugs, takes the clipboard, looks at the paper, dates it this way, turns, walking back through the door that he entered in. Do you follow?
Yeah. She's kind of numb, but she follows.
The hallway that you step into is very institutional. A beige 1970s style tile wall surrounds you on both sides. Your sneakers squeak against the pristine floor that has been horribly marred with some sort of rolling cart over the years. It smells of chemicals, and you immediately see your breath as you begin walking down this hallway into a freezer. I just need you to take a look, confirm that the victim is your brother.
Okay, for one, my brother was never a victim, so don't say that. Please.
In these situations, we are restricted in the language that we can use for the sake of the family, ma'am. I will tell you, if you identify your brother, you may be done here and leave. I just need that confirmation officially.
Okay.
You have agreed to be the individual that will do this identification. Is there someone else in your family that can do this? You seem very upset.
I'm fine.
All right then, ma'am.
There's no one else right now that can make it.
All right, ma'am. I need to warn you. He's been in the water for quite some time, and his body has extensive damage. Are you prepared?
I already said yes.
There is a bag in the corner of the room. You may use it if you need to vomit. It's not uncommon. There is no shame in it. Come along, please. And the man ushers you further into the freezer. There are a number of bodies here. All you see are plastic sheets and feet that are sticking out. Old feet, young feet, the feet of men and women with tags, toe tags, tied onto them. It is like a frozen library of the dead.
God, dude. Like, you don't.
Come this way, please. The insensitive man stops. You see your brother's feet, and you immediately recognize his broad shoulders underneath the plastic sheet. He turns to you. Are you ready? Officially, I must ask this question. Do you recognize this body as that of your brother, Blaine Sampson? His hand grasps onto the plastic sheeting and pulls it back slowly, revealing a horribly bloated, rotting face. You feel bile rise up in your throat. Your head feels as if it's in a vice. Your eyes inadvertently shut as you try to turn away. But closing your eyes doesn't hide his face from you. It is etched in your memory now, indelibly burnt upon the back of your eyelids. Your brother's contorted, dead face. Half rotten, horribly twisted by the water that he soaked in for so long. Your eyes are closed, and you remember the call. They didn't call it suicide. They said that there had been an accident on the old 9th Street Bridge. And all you can think about is what you said to him the day before, about what you told him about her, and how he didn't want to hear it. He begged you to stop. He told you that he loved her, and that no matter what happened, nothing, not even you, were going to change that. Ma'am, is this your brother?
Yes. Yes. That's my brother. That's Blaine.
The next of kin can make arrangements. We will hold the body. The coroner will be finished with it by the end of tomorrow. You may make whatever arrangements you need. If you would like, we can recommend a funereal house that will be able to assist you in the interment of the body, or if you would prefer, the state does offer cremation services. All of it is available through some very trustworthy family-owned businesses here. Do you have any further questions?
No. No. God. I'm gonna kill that bitch.
All right, ma'am. Well, if you're finished, then perhaps we should take you back to the lobby.
Yeah, I know the way, actually. Okay, you don't go out of your way. I'm fine. It's good. I'm fine.
It's quite understandable, ma'am. He motions towards the door.
Achira doesn't look back and she hightails it out of there.
You quickly move down the corridor and you're alone again, and the door slams behind you, perhaps a little more forcefully than you intended. The glass of the vault door, when it slams, cracks and works its way across the unbroken pane. You rush down the corridor, out the door, outside. You feel as if your lungs are bursting as you struggle through the night into the parking lot. You've car keys in your hand. You fall onto the ground as you break. You feel the tears working hot rivers down your face as you know this is your fault. But all you can think of is her and what she did. You protected him. You told him the truth. She was unfaithful. She broke his heart. You were his guardian, and you failed. Elsewhere, after the fall, when the world forgot so many things that kept it moving, freeways were no longer packed with cars. Planes no longer flew through the night sky, carrying passengers from airport to airport. At night, electrical lights no longer polluted the air, leaving the stars to reclaim the land that was once theirs, the deep black open sea that they once held dominance over, uncontested. The world had taken itself back, and humanity was waning very quickly. In a hospital long forgotten, covered in grime and graffiti, in the broken, open double doors, shattered windows, and layer upon layer of dust, a small group of individuals worked their way through the rubble, picking through the trash and the overturned hospital beds. Most of the fabric had either deteriorated or been salvaged already. The metal could potentially be used, but it wasn't really worth cutting it apart off of these enormous, heavy old beds. Juniper, your sister is walking next to you, always just a few steps away. Her boots kick at an old cardboard box, and a black cat shrieks and rushes out of it out the door. She begins picking through other trash as you and the two other rag and bone merchants continue to see what can be salvaged here. The information that Logan, the leader, had been given was that this hospital had areas that were heavily fortified, that had been locked, and that perhaps had not been opened since the fall. If that were true, all of you could become very rich with one simple salvage run. Alongside Logan, who is a shy and quiet person, they stand at approximately 6.5 feet tall, and they have a run of bright green hair on one side and a completely shaved head on the other. Upon the shaved side of their head, Logan has a tattoo of a rose with thorns that wrap around their ear. They use the pronouns they, them, and have always identified themselves as outside of gender. Their clothing is somewhat muted compared to you and your sister. The fourth individual in your group is known as Skidmark, a fellow wild child. She is utterly filthy. You're uncertain as to whether or not she's ever taken a bath, and her reek is well known among the other rag and bone that walk the line. When you first ran across her, it became very apparent that her exterior gruff was intended to push people away. She is loud, rude, and aggressive, but she's one of the best pickers that you've ever met. She has a real talent for seeking out the things that no one else can find, for leading you and the rest of your group to hidden treasures and to unknown secrets. Logan quietly and shyly shuffles about, holding a lantern that is burning with a bright, self-made candle. The rest of you are using whatever small implements of fire that you have been able to gather. Skidmark has a torch that is spewing black, thick, oily smoke. It is already blackening the aged tiles on the ceiling as she continues to push forward. Your sister looks to you, Juniper. Do you think that we should check downstairs?
I think we should have taken that cat, because who knows when we're going to find more food later.
We could always hunt it down later, sister.
Yeah. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's get this stuff and get out of here.
We'll kill the cat later after we get what we came for. Halvesies. The two twins work their way down a stairwell as the other two rag and bone follow after. Logan mumbles to themselves as they move down the stairs, something that they do often, talking to themselves and anyone who can discern what they're saying. Often it is a mumbled, broken phrase here and there. Maybe we'll go further down. Maybe we'll go back up after. But things that are hidden oftentimes are down lower. So maybe it'll be down. I don't really fucking care, but as long as we're getting there, I gotta take a huge shit. So if we could get there quick, that'd be real great, okay? Skidmark breaks the relative silence with a loud declaration of needing to make a bowel movement.
I mean, you can just go back to that last room. Not like geez, it's not like we care.
I can never mind, okay? I can hold it, all right? I'll hold it for now, but I'm going to take a huge shit once we get down to the basement.
It's just every time you announce it, hurts me more.
It hurts me as well. So if you could not do that, that would be greatly appreciated. We would like it if you didn't. We don't care.
So down we go into the stupid basement to get stuff for stupid people who can't get it themselves.
As you're moving down, there are doors that have been marked with spray paint, red X's that have been placed upon them. Everything here looks like it's been thoroughly picked through, and you're beginning to believe that your contact had lied to you, that there is nothing of value left within this ruined shell of a hospital. I'd like for you to make a spot listen, please, if you wouldn't mind, Juniper.
Okay. That is 3 degrees of failure.
Excellent. You are unaware of really anything within this space. If you would like to use your competency, you can.
I only have 5, and this is the flashback, so I might not die here.
You may not die, but bad things can happen in the past.
I have both arms. I have both arms already in the present. That's canon. I will use. I might get more. Maybe chat will help me. I'll use 2, just to do 1 degree of failure.
Okay.
That sounds
so
safe.
you don't really pick up any specific noises as you and your sister and your companions work your way down this dark corridor. It is cave-like, and there are spider webs everywhere, plants that have kind of grown in, and you can see that even though it's night now, there does seem to be some small amount of natural light that comes through some broken windows that are up higher on the ceiling, about 8 feet up. You feel a little bit of that night breeze push into this dark place as you continue on. Just when you're about to give up, you hear Skidmark shout out, "I just took a shit over here and you're not gonna believe what I found."
Are you looking through your own shit, or is this not your shit related?
No, look, fucker, it was the door. I found a door that was just like they described. There's a big lock on it, and it doesn't look like it's been opened, okay?
Are you gonna open it with your shit? How is the shit related?
I could force feed it to you. I was telling you that I was taking the shit so that... Never mind.
I don't need the context of you taking the shit to get the other information.
Well, you're gonna want it because you're gonna have to walk past it to get to the door.
See, now you tied it together, so I understand.
I'm gonna say right now that maybe you should just shut up so that we can do what we came here to do for these stupid people. I hate them. I hate them. They're all idiots. I don't know why we're here, Juniper.
I know. This is all bad. We could just leave.
We could leave. Do you want to leave?
Now,
Do you want to just go? I mean, we could walk right back up, but I mean, I don't exactly think Logan is that bad.
He's not actively trying to poop everywhere, so that's fine. I think that makes him an okay person.
They're a lot less gross than Skidmark. I mean,
Skidmark is the worst.
And as the two of you are talking, you get to this door, and yeah, there was a horrid reek that you had to walk past, but all of you now are standing in front of a doorway. And Logan stops and sets down a pack, and they reach into it and pull out a number of very small boxes. Logan opens them, and you can see that inside are a number of metal needle-like objects. You've seen Logan do this before. Usually, locked doors can be forced through, but on certain doors that are made of steel and larger, no matter how old the lock is, it's easier to try to pick the lock. And someone long ago taught Logan how to do this. And you watch as your companion works with the tools to slowly start working their way around the lock itself, listening closely. And as Skidmark belches and begins kind of humming to themselves, Logan whips around. I really would like it if you all were quiet right now so that I can take care of this, if that would be all right. I have to be I need to hear. Is that all right? Skidmark, are you listening? Yeah, I'm fucking listening, okay? I already told you that I'd be quiet. I don't know why you keep saying things. You're the one making the fucking noise. Moments later, there is a click as the lock is opened. The door creaks inward, and a musty, old smell issues forth from the hallway beyond. Who goes in first?
We go in.
Juniper and Olive step forward. Olive reaches over her shoulder, pulls out a baseball bat.
Okay, here we go again. I take out my crowbar.
As the two sisters work their way through the darkness, you see shelves, metal shelves, all around you. Each of them is filled with small little plastic boxes that have metal packages inside of them. The two of you move with a certain understanding of each other that is larger than words. You move as if you can sense each other and know what the other individual is going to do before they do it. You carefully and very quietly work your way through the shelving. As you do, your sister stops for a moment and holds the lantern a little closer to one of the plastic boxes. She, without a word, looks to you, and then her eyes go back. She nods to you.
I take if the boxes aren't big, I try to just take a couple for myself.
You take a couple and slip them into your pocket, but you've also got a number of bags that you can use to start to fill, if you choose.
I do that.
You grab the heavy, aged canvas sack and you start to empty things very quietly into the bag. Your sister continues. There's a flicker of another light behind you as you see that Skidmark is guarding the door. Logan has stepped in as well, and they are moving through the space additionally, quietly removing items.
Well, how many of these things do we need?
I think we should take as much as we can. It doesn't seem like anyone has been in here at all. This is all medicine. They're pills.
Oh, okay. I fill the canvas bag as full as I can, and then I do secret away some just for like Olive and I to have our own supply.
Your sister is pushing them into the overalls that she has, and she's filling the front of the bib with as many of them as she can, but also putting some into the bags. You hear Logan continue to move forward, and then you hear the creaking of another door. And Logan shouts. There's a crash of a shelf as they stumble backwards. The dead are here, Juniper. The shelf crashes loudly to the ground, and there is a breaking noise. Something scatters across the floor. Immediately, you hear Skidmark shout, and you see that they have a bow. And in the silhouette of the lantern that is in the hallway, you see the silhouette of Skidmark taking a shot at one of the Romeros that are lunging forward. The arrow buries itself into the eye socket of this creature, and it stumbles backwards into the room that is now open. The room that Logan found. Beyond it, 6 figures in horribly rotted white coats begin pushing forward. Your sister looks to you. We've got to go.
Get out of here. We don't even need this shit.
You drop the bag to run. All right. You and your sister rush out of the room, moving as quickly as you can. Logan is stumbling. Do you stop to help them?
No.
They are still on the shelves as the dead push forward. Skidmark is standing in the door and watches as you and your sister run past. Where the fuck are you going?
We all have to leave right now.
And Skidmark, for a moment, looks back to where Logan is and then back to you, searching your face for what you mean. And then she realizes that you mean to leave them behind. Fuck you.
Catch us if you can. We go.
It's your death. And you and your sister continue onward. You hear the dead behind you as both Logan and Skidmark continue to fight against them. Your sister and you rush up the stairs. Your pack's gone, but you still have a great deal of that medicine with you. And you rush and work very, very quickly to get out of that abandoned hospital. And as you're running up the stairs, you hear their screams.
Don't look back.
I don't need to look back. You don't look back. You know what happened, and they didn't run.
They should have ran. We
their
told them
own-
to run.
their
It's not
own
our fault.
Fucking fault is
It's
theirs.
not our fault.
No,
It's not our fault.
it's not us. It's you and I are all that matters.
As long as it's not us dying down there.
Just the two of us. That's all that matters.
That's right.
You and your sister have escaped into the night, but at what cost? There are two individuals who were kind to you, who taught you the way of the rag and bone. They are now dead because of a choice that you have made. You're now in the tree, in the forest, overlooking the rest of your companions. June, you're watching as Abigail moves closer and closer to this old woman and the young man that she is shouldering as she helps to keep him standing upright. What do you do?
I believe last time I tried to prepare a shot and I wasn't able to, so I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
So I am just going to stay quiet and not say anything and see what happens. If they don't remember them up there, that's cool too.
All right. You hear the conversation as the older woman blesses Abigail again and again as she steps forward. Her boots and her caution as she walks forward are only making the leaves crunch beneath, and it sounds like bones snapping with every step. Lampwick, you're witnessing all of this. What do you do?
I am looking back. I want to make sure that what we were running from earlier hasn't started to catch up to us. So I'm kind of like, and I'm not threatened by these two individuals, but I know this guy's sick, and I'm definitely keeping my distance, and I'm just watching Abigail and this old woman, and on occasion looking over my shoulder, making sure that our back is clear.
As far as you can tell, whatever sickness has overcome this young man, you don't see any bite marks, any claw marks, or anything that would denote that there has been a wound that would cause him to turn. But as with all things here in the end of days, the common cold can kill you. You cautiously watch. Achira, you've regrouped, having spent the night away from the rest of the survivors. And when you arrived, you found them knee-deep in Romero's and the smoking husk of the safe house that they had spent the night in. Now, traveling down this forest path, the choice has been made to travel a somewhat less obvious road, one that would lead to the community that has been mapped out by 10-4 and the rest of the Ender's line. The resources that are being carried by your group, while they may be encumbering them somewhat, are of importance to this community. If what you all know is true, based on the information that the Enders have given you, this community, a small farmhouse on the outskirts of a town known as Bakersfield, just a few miles away from Hagersfield, This small community is synthesizing penicillin, and that the flu that is affecting so many within the Midwest currently would be able to be alleviated given the powerful use of those rare, rare commodities. To do so, however, they needed the resources that were being provided to all of you through that safe house. You would, of course, take the cut that you would receive for your work, and it would be divvied up amongst those who were able to deliver them safely. You know for a fact that these are valuable items that have been carried out from the safe house. And sadly, over half of the number of items that were present were lost in the fire. This woman who's appeared is strange to say the least. It is hard to trust anyone in these days. It's harder still to trust someone who is clean. That's not the way that the world works. Not anymore. Despite your suspicions, all of you are waiting to see what happens as Abigail slowly moves forward. What would you like to do?
Abigail leans slightly over to Lampwick. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. And we need to keep on moving. She's too clean. Does that make sense?
And loud. Who sings out here with those things around?
And how did you make it this far?
I throw a twig down at Achira. Hey, do you want me to? Should I shoot her?
No. I don't want the noise to attract anything.
I have my crossbow. I mean, if we kill her, then we can keep going. But I think Abigail might get mad about it.
All right, yeah. Look, let's pray together. All right.
Oh my God.
I'm going to pray with you. That's what you want, right? We're gonna pray. Bless you, my child.
Abigail has some oranges on her, right?
You see that she set her pack down before she started walking. So her bag is sitting there with you in the group. She is now moving towards these two, hands up, empty, as she gets closer to them.
Achira's intention is to, as stealthily as possible, pick up the bag and kind of, if she has her bag on her back, she's going to put Abigail's bag on her front.
Doing so is possible. However, the group currently is fairly encumbered. You made choices when you were at the safe house to leave things behind so that you were not completely held back in your movement, so that you were able to still continue on through rough terrain fairly easily. However, you still wanted to get as many of those goods and resources as you could to the community that needed them. It also meant that your payday would be much better. All of you currently are operating under an encumbered sense that is going to cause a number of additional speed dice to be caused for every check that you make. So, from this point forward, as we are moving with you fully encumbered, each of you is going to add 5 speed dice to each roll that you undertake. If you choose to set your resources down, you may do so, but dropping it immediately will, while removing the speed dice, will also cause you the absolute need to deal with it later and potentially lose the items that you drop. Do you understand? All right. So understanding that and understanding your intentions, I would like for Luis, I would like for you to make a spot listen.
Okay.
Juniper, you're preparing a shot, so you could make a ranged attack if you choose to, and that would be held until such time as you chose to fire. Again, each of you has 5 additional speed die that you will need to add to your rolls. Achira, if I understand your intention correctly, you are gathering the resources in front of you. I'm not going to make you make a roll to do that. I just want you to understand that you are now just as encumbered as the others are.
I understand.
However,
When Achira has a chance, she'll lighten the load a little.
You've also chosen to not allow these resources to remain on the ground of this forest, which could be very dangerous, especially if what Lampwick suspects is true, that there are, in fact, the dead coming after you. Looking at these rolls, I see, Juniper, you have succeeded. And Lampwick, I see that you have 1 degree of failure. Would you like to spend a competency point to mitigate that?
I would like to spend a competency point, please.
You do so, and you will succeed on your spot listen now. Juniper, you prepare your bow, and when the time comes, if you choose to fire, you may do so. I will also let you know that we will be using the body location chart when making ranged attacks. And the second number of your 2-digit number for your percentile roll helps me to determine where on the body that location will strike. So in this situation, you have rolled an 8, meaning that your shot will hit them in the legs.
Yes.
There could be other effects depending on how well you roll, but since you only received 1 degree of success, nothing spectacular will happen should you choose to fire. All of you are now prepared, and as Abigail moves forward, she stops just a few feet away from the old woman. You can see that she is looking very closely at all of them, trying to get a better view. Lampwick, you notice, tucked into the back of her shirt, is a pistol.
Of Abigail's shirt.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna move around so I can get keeping my distance, like a profile view of both Abigail and the 2 strangers, so that I'm not just behind Abigail. I'm kind of on the side of all 3 of them. But definitely like a good 15 feet away.
You start to move. I need to make a roll. You begin moving through. The leaves crunch underneath your feet, but you're fairly quiet and quick about your work. All right, now, so let's just talk about what we're going to pray about. Do you want to pray for anything specific? Maybe the help of your companion here? Like, seems pretty bad off if we're being honest about it. Oh, bless Sammy. He is a good boy. It isn't the Lord's will to harm him. It is but a trial for him to overcome, as we all overcome the trials that have been beset before us. Bless you, my child, and your grace. I do sense the touch of the Lord upon you. In this world of dark sin, you do come forth with such bright spiritual hope. It does my heart well. All right, yeah, thank you. My name is Rebecca, and these are my friends. We were just passing through. What is it that you want from all of us, yeah? Oh, I just want to find the help that Salmon needs, because we've lost our way, I'm afraid, and I can't say where our caravan is. We were just moving along with the missionaries, preaching the good word. You know, the good word. The prophet has spoken, and we are to enter into the dark places of the world and spread the good word that all of you can be saved. All it takes is... Yeah, okay. Before we get into the pitch here, I just want to be clear. Are you looking for us to take you somewhere, or do you want us to help you here? Because none of us are doctors. None of us are doctors. No. Yeah, we just need a secure place. It's only it's midday, but night will come soon, and I do not feel that we should leave Sammy out here in the dark wilderness in this condition. I myself do not know how long I would last. I beseech you, upon the good word of the Lord, to help us. As I said before, I can pay you. I do have a small amount of trade that I can give if it matters to you, though some don't care. We do have some small amount of gold that we are willing to give it. It seems to work well in the communities to trade for that which you need. You could take it and get whatever you want. I also, yeah.
I'm gonna start to interject, ma'am. I hear your plight. We're headed in this direction. If you can keep up with us from a safe distance, I don't see why you can't travel quietly
Yeah, no more
nearby.
singing.
Your friend here seems to be sick, and I'm gonna do my best to keep my distance, and I would be grateful if you both did the same. We can't help you. Like Abigail was saying, we're not doctors. If you travel with us, more or less, and we end up passing by the place that you need to get to, then that's fantastic. We need to get a move on because there's danger behind us, and we're looking to get out of here. You guys can pray on the way.
Bless you, my son. I'm happy to do what we can. Sammy's strong enough to more or less stand. Certainly, some assistance would be appreciated, but not expected, of course. We will entrust in our own will and our strength with our faith to carry us forward, young man.
These missionaries, what direction did you come from? This direction that we're heading towards, and how did you get separated from your group?
No,
And how
no.
long's it been?
Oh, just it's been perhaps half a day, not long at all. We had set up our camp, and it seemed that there was some commotion last night. We heard a large number of the sinners moving through the trees.
You mean Romero's?
We call them sinners because their souls have been damned, and they have not found the eternal light of faith. They must be brought to God's good justice and laid back to rest before their souls can find peace. But now is not the time, my dear. Yes, they are, as you say, the dead. The young man.
How about we continue forward then? I mean, your God gave us a mouth and 2 feet. How about we utilize it at the same time?
Amen to that. Amen to that. I do hear what you say, and I'm no spring chicken you might see, but I promise you that I will be of no further problems if you just offer your protection and the care of your company will be more than enough. And I know that when Sammy is better, he will thank you as well.
I jump out of the tree.
The old woman does start at that. As you do land, it doesn't seem like she was exactly aware of your position, but kind of jolts back a little.
She's with us.
I'm not carrying anybody. I'm making that clear right now. And if you try to take any of our shit, I will shoot you.
I have no faith. No.
You might become one in the future, and I'm just letting you know what will happen if you decide to become one.
You have none of those worries with us, my dear. None of us who follow the faith.
I don't know what any of the words you're saying mean. Too much yapping, not enough going forward and going.
Abigail looks to you, Achira. You want me to carry that, or would you rather I be on the lookout? And she pulls her rifle off her back.
No, I got this. You go ahead and be on lookout.
All right.
All right. Abigail's on lookout.
If the group is
Would
moving
you?
forward, I need to know how you're doing it, because you are now in a situation. It has cost you because of the negotiation here, it has cost you some time. You have probably about 6 hours until nightfall.
Yeah,
We
let's
got to
get
get
moving.
moving.
I'll take point, and I turn to Achira, and I mean anyone who's nearby. Achira was near me earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever, I'll take point. Abigail, you're kind of looking out. I don't know which one of you two want to be close enough to do the questioning, but I think that we need to walk and talk and learn a little bit about these strangers.
I have a feeling that she's going to talk no matter who is next to her.
I
I'm
think-
not going to be next to her.
I don't want to talk to this old thing. I don't
They can
like
take
it.
up the rear. Abigail can either be in front of them or behind them, but
I'm taking point. You can
Mhm.
put them
I'll
closest behind me.
on second thought, I don't like people behind me. I'll take the rear. If she's too slow, I'm leaving her behind.
I think that's fair for all of us.
I guess I want to walk sort of like not directly next to the old woman and the boy, but like far enough away that I could hurry and shoot them if I have to.
And I'm going to take a sharp eye on all of them, just so you know. I'll be looking forward, but I'm also going to be looking backwards. And Abigail kind of like moves forward and starts kind of quietly pushing through. There's still some sunlight that's breaking through the leaves, and Abigail puts on a pair of broken aviator glasses as you and the rest of the group move forward. Now, because of Lampwick's ability to maintain a formation, you do have a number of advantages as you continue to move through the forest. However, Juniper, you are in charge currently of the navigation of the group, and moving forward is going to be determined by how you roll. So, go ahead and check against your ability to
Navigate.
navigate. Thank
So no multipliers, and I still have the 5 speed dice on this one.
you do have 5 speed dice on everything that you check at the
Okay.
moment, because you are hampered by the goods and wares and resources that you are carrying. If you would
Okay.
like to lessen that, you can either have someone else carry it for you, and they will be more encumbered, or you can start to leave items behind.
I'll just stay where that is. It's fine.
Right.
For now. One success.
All right. Well, it's not a failure. So you did get a single success. I'm going to say that because of that success, you spend the next 3 hours moving through the forest, and you manage to break through following the map that was left for you in the safe house. You managed to break through in decent time. Certainly, it could have been quicker, but I will say that even with this pair of additions to your group, this older woman and this injured young man, you do manage to make it out in a reasonably quick amount of time. That said, with only 2 hours remaining, you are no longer in the forest, and you see a series of wide open farm-like fields, most of which are heavily overgrown, but off in the distance, you see a small amount of smoke on the horizon. And as you move over a ridge, you see a small building out there in the distance with high wooden walls and a number of watchtowers that have been erected. Oh, praise his name. We are saved. And we're going to take a break. And that break is going to be 10 minutes. And in 10 minutes' time, we will return and resolve our adventure for the evening as the survivors continue on closer and closer to their goal. They're about to reach the community that they have been seeking, and we hope that you stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Hunters Entertainment on Twitch.tv. We are playing Outbreak Undead, and tonight we have been guiding you through a very dark forest, one that has held no small amount of danger. The survivors have managed to escape that place, leaving behind the hordes of the dead that are slowly following after. Their mission, their task, has been to deliver the goods and services that have been requested by a small community somewhere in the large expanse of the state once known as Pennsylvania. Such borders mean very little now in the apocalypse. The world ended so long ago, but that does not mean that humanity did not continue on. Small pockets of civilization have begun to grasp the last dying breath of a world that we took for granted. Standing there on the ridge, Juniper, the map is in your hands, and you are burdened with a large, heavy pack. You can feel it bursting with oranges and MRE packages and other bits and pieces that you were able to salvage from that storehouse before it caught fire, before the attack, before that strange night when a thoughtless action took the rest of your companions. Some hideous choice was made that night. And those that you traveled with, other rag and bone merchants that were meant to be here with you now, died. Each of them sacrificed their lives so that this moment could occur. Lampwick, you are standing there. You take a step after Juniper, moving carefully as the rest of the group is pulling themselves out from the canopied forest. The old woman and the young man that have traveled with you are trailing behind, and you can see that Abigail is keeping a sharp eye, taking up the rear, watching carefully, listening for any sign of pursuer, any of the Romeros that perhaps had managed to continue to track you this far away from the site of your last battle. It seems that you are in the clear. Achira, you are not too far away from this strange old woman. You can feel her eyes on the back of your head, and while she does not sing, from time to time, you hear a very low, quiet humming as she and the young man continue forward with your group. The farmhouse that's in the distance on the horizon seems to be perhaps 2 miles away. You have a good vantage point here, and the sky is overcast. You are losing daylight quickly. Juniper, taking an assessment of your situation, you will reach the gates of that farmhouse just in time. But you'll have to move quickly. What do you and the group want to do?
I let everyone know that information. So we gotta scoot our butts into that area. Hopefully, we'll be safe. And I don't know. Just don't. No one hold up the team, I guess.
Yeah, I'd recommend us splitting up and divvying the load a little bit, but God's angel and her prodigal son don't have any packs on them, so
I think that old bag of bones is carrying that kid, so I think she's pretty much burdened without a pack, and I don't want her carrying our stuff. I feel like she's gonna take it.
No, I don't want them
You
touching
wouldn't
that
get
stuff. They're gonna make it. They're gonna infect it. I just keep heading. A little kick up my stride just a little bit now that we kind of see the end of the tunnel, so to speak.
there's something that's bothering me though. And Achira, which is like not really in her nature to be so like communication isn't her thing to other people. She comes up to the both of you as you're walking along. A lot about this isn't right, right? We meet an old woman in the forest who's just too clean to be walking around in the forest for half a day, singing loudly. Singing so loud, and yet no Romeros heard that siren song. Like, not a single one.
No, it is very strange.
Do we want to? We can get in. We've got the goods that they want. Do we want to have her and possibly Typhoid Mary coming in with us to the settlement? Well,
I say
we'd
we
have to vouch.
no, and I'm not ready to do that. I like that we're expected, that they're potentially looking forward to seeing us and what we are bringing them. I think that they need to kind of stay behind, and we let the town know what we have with us, and it's up to them to decide what they're going to do, because that's not our baggage.
That sounds fair to me. I mean, listen, an old lady and a sick kid. This is like a classic bait and switch situation. I feel like if we're with them any longer, our big caravan's gonna pop out of the woods and abduct all of us and eat us. So I'm not all about these new strangers who I don't have anyone to vouch for them. So we should go with Lampwick's plan and just tell them to wait, 30 paces behind us when we go in.
I have an idea. Actually, you're bringing up something that I haven't thought of, and I think that this is fishy. Look, we can't show up to this place empty-handed.
No, we got. I'm sorry. You not feeling the load that I'm feeling right now?
No.
When I've got this pack on my stomach.
I'm
Am I
with
the
you.
only one feeling that?
Well, no, I paid attention to what you picked up, and I took note of it, so I know exactly what you're carrying. But here's the thing. Look, if these guys are pulling something on us, if they're pulling something on us, and between here where we are and where we're supposed to be, they have something set up to get the jump on us. That's not good. Juniper, you I think that maybe you go ahead with a lighter load, but enough of something so that you get there before us. Just before us, just in case. Just in case we get, just in case they get the jump on us, I want to make sure that at least one of us shows up with half a pack so that they can vouch for the rest of us. At least we get something done. That's just an idea. But I'm happy to move forward the way that we're doing just as much.
Well, I mean, Juniper doesn't have to volunteer for it. I volunteer.
No.
I volunteer to go forward.
You abandoned us once already.
It wasn't abandonment.
Yeah, you left us.
Okay, I drop half my stuff and I start going.
And I pick up the other half.
Okay, you are now very encumbered, Lampwick. You are still, however, managing a formation. So the group is still moving together in a very secure way. You've got Abigail all the way in the back, kind of walking behind these two strangers as the three of you have been up in the front, moving forward slowly. You've moved through these open fields, and there's tall grasses that are about waist high, and all of you are pushing through them very slowly as you start moving forward.
Achira sees Lampwick trying to struggle under all of this, goes up to take the half a pack from him because she wants to give it to Abigail.
You turn and you start moving
I
back.
just see you trying to get the pack. What?
Just Abigail's carrying nothing right now, and it's just half a pack.
All right. I motion to Abigail, and I myself pass off half the pack to Abigail.
Yeah, Abigail moves forward. You want me to take this, yeah?
Yeah, it's half a pack.
All right. They're fine, by the way. I don't like the smell of this one bit, but I will say I don't really see any harm in at least like taking them up to the gate.
Yeah, that's as far as I think we need to go. We can assume that they're both sick.
Well, I'm fucking glad that we all agree then. And she turns
Yeah.
and kind of continues to walk back a little deeper. I have made a roll, and based off the risk that I currently am holding on to, I have something interesting to share with all of you. Juniper, you begin moving forward. You have lightened your load considerably. However, you've also broken out of the formation, meaning that you no longer have an additional point of competency to spend within that formation. So you are now operating strictly off the resources that you are carrying with you. You're able to move quickly, and I need you to make a stealth roll if you are trying to be quiet. If you are not trying to be quiet, then I would like for you to make your navigation roll.
I'm gonna make the stealth roll, and that's with my. Oh, what's my encumbrance? What's my speed now? I had 5 speed dice when I was fully.
You have half a pack still?
Yes, so 3
So
or
you
2?
only have 2.
2. Okay. Stealth.
That's 4 degrees of success. Congratulations. You very quickly and carefully start moving through the field. And as you do, you snake your way over to what looks like a very worn old road. It is, however, clear. The asphalt here seems that it has broken away after years and years of abuse. It is half dirt road, half blacktop, and it looks like a checkerboard as it stretches out in front of you. You start to break out of the grass, but as you do, in the ditch, something moves, and you're able to sidestep it as one of the dead reach forward weakly.
Oh no, not today. Not today. Nope, no, thank you.
It chomps at you and tries to pull itself up, and as it does, it starts crawling, and you see that it has no lower body. It is a spine and emaciated ribs and tightly pulled skin around a gray-green, leathery face with weeping, open, pussy eyes.
I just step out of the way, and then I just want to get like a stick or something and just stick it in the ground next to it so they'll see I've made like a sign that there is a zombie laying here in this ditch when they walk towards it.
Yes. The rest of the group, as they start moving forward, you see that Juniper makes a sign with a stick that is being erected in the ground. Is that this is the motion that you give them to alert them?
Yes, it is the best one. That means all the things.
No, that's understandable. And that is communicated to the group. So you're now aware that there's at least one Romero that is in the grass moving amongst you.
I'm going to take out my spear, and as we move ahead, I'm going to kind of like spear at the ground as we move, just to kind of, stick something if I happen to come upon it.
With your speed dice in place and an additional difficulty die, I'm going to have you roll your spot listen.
Okay. And speed dice. So how many difficulty dice is that now?
It's 1 additional difficulty dice, but you have 5 additional speed dice.
Got it.
Given the fact that you are so overburdened with the mercantile items that you are carrying to this community.
Copy that.
My friend, that is 5 degrees of failure. That is catastrophic. Rolled 95.
It's so bad.
It's in formation though, so use one of those.
No, because that's only if I succeed.
Oh, oops.
Yeah. So, Lampwick, is there anything that you would like to do? And traveling with you, Achira, you are also available to help mitigate some of this failure as you are working together as a unit.
I have 4 competency points, and
I'm wondering, before we get to competency points, though.
Yes.
All this big grass that's happening and going through this field, would that be a location hazard?
It is specifically not a location hazard. I'm sorry. I will alert you the moment that you find yourself within one.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Achira doesn't have anything to be more of a team member in this situation, but her natural inclement is to stealth and see any danger that would pertain to herself. So if it pertains to herself, it then pertains to the party. I
Interesting.
would like to think that in this formation, that Achira would have at this point tried to get further away from Abigail and also their guests, and might be able to help with a spot listen up at the top of the party, or at least do one herself.
I will certainly allow you to make a spot listen. And I hear, Lampwick, you are going to mitigate most of those failures. So it is not a catastrophic failure, but it is a failure.
Mm-hmm.
With 1 degree of failure, I think that I can be somewhat lenient in this moment.
God
welcome.
damn. Sorry.
I just saw that.
However, Achira, you've rolled a 96, which means that you have 5 degrees of failure as well.
Way to top me.
By 1. That's
By
so
1.
Achira.
Yep.
Is there anything that you would like to do, Achira, to help mitigate this situation?
My lord.
You know what? No. No. If there's anything that comes from the formation, I'm okay with Achira not seeing whatever is going to come to her personally. If it's something that will affect the rest of the group, I'll throw some points into it. But if it's something that just affects her, I'll let it ride.
Lampwick, you step forward as the group pushes on. Juniper is in the far distance and is safely upon the road. As you move through the waist-high grass, your feet are sticking in mud, and you feel a wet and slow trudge as you have to forcibly pull your boots forward. It is slowing you down considerably, and it is hazardous in that it feels as if one wrong step and you could find yourself slipping very easily.
Ooh.
Even worse, it seems that you're not the first to have trouble within this field. Achira, you're scouring your line of sight, and you see that Lampwick is headed directly towards a patch of grass. And then, out of the corner of your eye, you see a movement as a skeletal hand starts pulling itself up, covered in mud, twisted, dried flesh as it reaches forward to his leg.
I'm
What
gonna
do you
shout
do?
out. Achira would shout out. I assume to his right leg. That's what I saw in my head.
That's correct.
Achira be like, Lampwick, to your right, down. It's a field of death.
I look to my right and down.
There is a hand reaching up to you, and it has grabbed onto your pant leg, and you see now the mashed, mud-covered form of a Romero trying desperately to pull itself up as you see what must be a head as the skull pulls itself out of the wet, sick, slick mud.
I'm going to try to poke it with my spear right down, right onto its head.
That is your intention in this moment, and it is noted. Achira, as you shout out to Lampwick, you misstep and slip forward, tumbling down into the mud yourself. As the wet coldness greets you, you take no damage. However, you are lying prone on the ground, and you feel something clamoring at your bag.
Achira's had her hand scythe out this entire time. If something's clamoring at the bag on her back, because she can't see it. She's gonna try to use her hand scythe to, well, I guess she's gotta. Damn. This is why you stay alone. This is why you don't warn other people.
What
Yeah,
is
she's
Achira's-
gonna try to use her hand scythe as a
That is
way
your
to
intention.
get this monster off.
Your intention is to attack the creature, trying to remove it from your back, correct?
Exactly.
Very well. Each of these are melee attacks, so I will need you to make those. However, you both are overburdened, so you will have 5 additional speed dice.
Since
Achira,
she's laying prone on the ground, would the speed dice still be part of that?
do you wish to remove the bags and leave them behind as you attack?
No, I don't. I'll take this.
Then you will have 5 additional speed die, as well as 2 difficulty die as you are lying face down in the mud. With that information, you both may roll. Juniper, you're making your way down the road, carefully picking yourself forward, unaware of the complications that your allies have fallen into.
Yep, just another day in Juniper running away from the group.
As you get closer to this small farmland, you notice that the grayed wood of this fence stretches out to an impressive distance. It covers a number of acres, and it is guarding what looks to be a very large farmhouse on a hill. Behind it, you see other larger hills to an almost mountainous cap. A small, modest trail of smoke burns from the chimneys in that farmhouse. And in the distance, you hear the sounds of cows and horses. And you smell a field of some sort, green grasses, and a pleasant odor. Cooked food, perhaps meat. Something causes your stomach to turn as you get closer. And you see that on a watchtower attached to this large fence that works its way around, rough-hewn boards have been layered on top of each other, forming a impressive fortification around this building and what looks like a number of other smaller buildings. Behind that small farmhouse on a hill, you see a large, ancient-looking barn that is half collapsed. Walking along on the watchtower, about 20 feet above you, you see the silhouette of a person moving. Make a spot listen check, please. Achira, you turn and slash forward at your foe. Is there anything that you wish to do as you have received 3 degrees of failure?
I am going to be using 4 competency points.
How many competency points does that leave you with?
That leaves me with 1.
Very well. Your scythe slashes through the air as you forcibly flip yourself over. You feel the crunch of a box underneath you inside of the bag that you are carrying as the blade slashes through the air and hooks into your opponent. You have managed to strike them. However, as you slash across what you believe to be their chest, all you do is buffet them away from you for a moment as a wet, sickly splat of blood and old, crusted mud gushes out. And you see the skeletal form of leather-tight flesh shriek at you as mud and maggots pour forth inches away from your face. Lampwick, you have 1 degree of success. Your spear shoots downward, and while missing the head of your opponent, you do strike into its back and press it back down into the mud, and it struggles as it feebly attempts to grab onto you, reaching as if it can somehow grasp the spear in its back, and you hear the wet gurgles as its face is pressed deeper into that sticky, thick mud.
I'm gonna back away from it if that gives me an opening. I'm gonna move.
It does. So now you are going to move away from your opponent.
I'm moving away, and do I have enough awareness to see that Achira fell, or what's going on with Abigail?
After we resolve what Juniper is going to do, I will return to the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
June, you are standing there, and you are oblivious to the glint of glass from that watchtower as you move forward. As you approach the watchtower, what do you do? You're coming very close to this wall.
I reach into my bag and I pull out just like 2 fistfuls of oranges, 2 oranges, and I go, I have your stuff for, I just yell, I have your stuff for penicillin, and the rest of the party's right behind me. Hello, town.
Everything for a moment, Juniper, is quiet as you do see a shape above you, and it is in that moment that you realize that there is a scope and a rifle pointed at you.
If you don't want them, I can also leave. It's fine. I thought you needed. We're with the rag and bone peeps. Hello.
Make a persuade check for me, please.
Oh. I have to find it. There it is. Okay. 1 success.
Excellent. Well done. Everything is quiet, and a rope drops down from the watchtower on the outside of the wall. A very wiry young woman with straw blonde hair slides down the rope very, very skillfully. Hitting the ground, she's wearing a pair of army camo pants and cowboy boots. She has a wide-brimmed, tattered hat on her head, and she looks to be in her 30s. Just enough age across her face to show that she has the experience of a longer life, but still not hindered by that age. Her eyes are bright green, and she looks to you. You're Rag and Bone?
Mm-hmm. Hi.
Do you see what's up there?
No, I can't see super far. Got like the bad eyes.
Yeah, well, that's real dangerous out here for you. That's Neville up there. Neville's a pretty good shot. I just want you to understand. We've got a rifle trained upon you. We've already spotted your allies. They're in the fields. Didn't anyone warn you?
No, we just had a kind of a radio. We just no.
You have to stick to the roads out here. The fields aren't safe.
Well, I can see that now. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. Oh, by the way, my group, it's just 4 of us, the cool looking rag and bone people. There is a creepy old lady and like a very sick child also sort of adjacent to our group. They're not really with us. They sort of like followed us, and you know how it is. So just, that's something else.
All right, that's an awful lot to take in.
I just told you 2 things, but.
Are you carrying all of the goods?
No, they have most of them. I just have some of them to show you that I'm not a bad person. That's not who I say I am. So, oranges.
The rest of the oranges are in the field.
Yeah,
Fuck.
they're fine. They're fine. They're fine. They're fine. Or we could go help them if you're worried about it. I
She looks pissed. She looks up and looks back to you. She makes a couple of hand signals up to the individual who's in the watchtower. You don't quite understand what it is.
I do try to copy her.
She points to her eyes, points to Neville, and then does this. She turns back, taking a rifle off of her back. All right, let's go. You're coming with me.
Can I leave this stuff here? It's like real heavy. Just
Yes.
Will someone get it? Will someone get it, or will it just
No,
sit here?
Please, let's not risk any more of the things that we've asked for. Thank you. She actually ties your bag onto the rope and then pulls it twice, and it pulls up into the watchtower.
Okay.
Do you have a gun?
I have a thing. It's a crossbow.
All right, that works. Come along, stay on the road, follow me.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Sunny.
Is it because you're so cheery?
Yes, come on.
Okay.
And the two of you walk down the road. Sunny stops you from time to time, and you can see that she's well acquainted with this area. And you've watched others like her who seem to know how to read the ground, to look at plants and other trees, and to be able to very clearly see what is happening around them. Sunny seems very perceptive and stops you and whispers very low. I don't think your friends are doing well. I only spot 3 of them, and they're further back. There were 5 earlier, yes?
Yeah. 2 of them weren't my friends. They were just people.
I don't care.
I mean,
5 others in your party, 6 total, yes?
No, wait, what? 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6.
I only see 3.
Well, we better go get those 3.
You and this woman continue to move forward, Juniper. Meanwhile, Intentions, Lampwick, and Achira, I will get those from you. However, immediately you hear boots running to your direction, Achira. Someone is coming very quickly upon your location from behind. They were behind you, yes.
Don't like people behind me, ever. It might be Abigail.
I need your intentions.
If I saw Chira go down because she was kind of along my plane, I'm gonna help her up.
My intention is to slash at and escape the Romero that's right on me, trying to chomp.
All right. So you're going to attack with your melee. You have the same difficulties that I've given you before, Achira, unless you would like to do something to mitigate them. By removing the packs and leaving them here, you can remove the difficulty.
She's gonna drop the half a pack. That, yeah.
It will move you to 2 speed
I'm
dice.
sorry. She doesn't have the half a pack.
No.
She has the full pack of Abigail.
So you can leave half of the gear that you have behind in an instant. It will reduce you to 2 speed die, but there is no guarantee that you will be able to retrieve those items.
Half is better than nothing. Achira's gonna drop half the pack of what she's carrying to get it from 5 down to 2 speed dice.
Immediately you twist and you feel one of the bags slip out away from you. Your arm is immediately more mobile. You feel yourself lighter and you are able to attack this Romero more directly. The mud-soaked corpse reaches at you again. A river of maggots and mud spewing forth towards you. You will be rolling with the 2 speed die and only a single difficulty die as you have turned yourself around, but you are still lying on the ground. Lampwick, what is your intention here?
I'm gonna, I'm, I'm looking out for my team and I'm keeping formation, and we need to all be up and mobile for us to all be at our best. So I see one go down, and I'm going to go and do what I can to help alleviate that. So I'm moving closer, and I'm going to help pick her up and get her back on her feet to keep moving forward.
You quickly push through the grass and you feel something grasping at your ankle and you are pulled downward. I need you to roll a single lift pull, please, as you try to keep yourself from being forcibly grabbed by this Romero.
Yeah. All right. No speed dice, no other, just that.
Do you still have your packs on you?
I do have my packs.
Then you are suffering from 5 additional speed die.
Got it. Lift, pull. Crap. Oh, take that.
But with
Amazingly.
successes, right? We're still in formation, so we
We're
get
in formation.
additional successes
So
from our
that goes up to
successes.
2.
They
because we're-
count as an additional success because you are still within the formation, and both Achira, you and Lampwick have succeeded on your actions. Lampwick, you will be attacking, or I'm sorry, breaking free last, however, because of the immense amount of time that this is taking you to
Got
break the ground over to where Achira is. Achira, you swing your scythe forward and it slots itself into the skull of the Romero in front of you with a wet, sickly crack as you break through its skull, and immediately the eyes go fully and truly dead as it falls limply at your feet. Immediately, you feel hands on you and someone pulling you out of the mud. It is Abigail. Do you resist?
No,
She
just surprised.
lifts you up and is running you out of the field.
The pack. I dropped half the pack.
Do we get it or not? Because fuck, if there are more of these things, I don't know what we're gonna do.
Let's go. We can figure it out later.
You keep going.
If I get there in time, just as they're, if I get there right at the tail end, not in time to pick her up, and in time to hear the pack, I'm gonna pick that up instead of her since she doesn't need me.
You reach the area. You reach the area that Achiro was in, and you can make a spot listen check. If you fail it, you will not see the pack. However, I'm adding 2 difficulty dice because you see the face of the young, wounded, ill man as he grabs your shoulder, coughing.
Oh, no.
And you see the old woman holding him up, but he coughs full on. Do not leave us here.
Keep up. I'm getting out of here.
So you have 2 additional difficulty die as your 2 guests have inserted themselves. It seems like they are, as of yet, unharmed.
And that would be 2 successes then.
Okay, so you do see the pack. You can assist the elderly woman and the injured man, or you can take the pack. You cannot do both feasibly. The pack will give you an additional 2 difficulty on any rolls that you make because you are really overburdened.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Taking the pack.
Carrying everything, Lampwick.
Yep.
You charge out of the field, and the other 2 are trailing far behind you.
I just call out a little help to my friends that are ahead of me. I charge forward.
Achira, do you stop, or do you keep going?
Achira does, but only because about her taking the pack earlier on the road, and he made like a big deal about that. So Achira will
whip around.
stop to grab that half
Mhm.
pack.
You whip around, and you see Lampwick running through the tall grasses as something emerges just a few feet away from him.
Long gun.
You pull. I'm sorry.
She's gonna pull her long gun to aim for the thing that's about to take down Lampwick.
Your intention has been noted. Lampwick, make a spot listen check. As you charge forward, heavily burdened by these packs, do you even see this undead creature lunging towards you?
The difficulty die is.
You have 7 total difficulty die to add to your roll.
God. It doesn't go up to 7. It only goes up to
just
5.
a 5. Do the 5.
Oh my God. All right. Oh.
For my specific brand of torture, I promise you that I will be speaking to roll 20, and we will find a way to make this work. However, you have 1 success, and my friend, you have escaped. You're aware of the creature. It is still close to you. You do not run directly into it. However, the Romero stands wavering there, a thick coat of mud upon it as it lunges, reaching for you. And at the last moment, the bag shifts in your grasp and you see it, and you divert your path just far enough away as it snatches forward.
Do I still have all the items?
You do.
And since they're now ahead of me, is it fair to say that we're not in formation? So that is
there is no formation.
There's just get the hell out of here.
Everyone has broken formation and is running chaotically through this field. Juniper, you have been stopped by Sunny, and Sunny now has her rifle out. You see all of this happening, and she starts to train on silhouettes as they slowly start raising in the fields beyond. You see at first what look like perhaps 6 or 7 bodies that are raising up out from the tall grasses. But you see now that struggling very slowly, there are many more.
I want to try to shoot the silhouettes that are, I guess, can I see Lampwick and Achira and everybody kind of coming down the hill still, or are they still too far away?
You have eyes on Lampwick and Achira. It is hard to see the old woman and the young man as the grasses are concealing part of their escape, and they are in a smaller position than the others as they seem to be charging up closer to the road. You do see like a lot of rustling in the grass, and all these little spots of dark, muddy corpses start pulling themselves up.
I yell, "Get to the road!" And I'm gonna also try to shoot at the silhouettes that are closest to, I guess, Lampwick is the one I see closest to me.
You have no difficulty and no additional speed, so your intention is also noted. Everyone who is attacking may do so. Achira, you have turned back. There is no difficulty to that. Do you take a pack from Lampwick, lighting in his load?
Yes, I will.
Excellent.
For the reason I stated before.
Understandable. No one thinks that you're being a hero here.
No,
you are doing your job to lighten his load, however, and you are preventing him from having to make these atrocious rolls regardless. You are still heavily burdened as you continue forward, and Juniper, you shoot your bow, and with a very quiet whistle, the coral that you shoot finds a home in the head of one of these Romeros, and it tumbles backwards, just as it was pulling itself closer to where Achira was. Abigail stops and trains her rifle across the field and fires as another bullet whizzes right past your ear, Lampwick, and you hear it connect to something behind you. Still moving forward. Lampwick, I need you. Please. Make a jump.
Okay. Do I still, now that my burden is a little lighter, how many difficulty die?
You have 5 still.
5 difficulty dice. Still.
You're still carrying all of your normal encumbrance. Achira, you've taken his additional pack, which means that now nothing has been lost. It is coated in mud, and as you turn, you see that something snatches at you, and you're able to sidestep it, but it immediately starts to grab at Lampwick's legs, again, rising up out of the mud. Lampwick, it is directly in front of you, and you have no choice but try to leap over it, as you cannot possibly stop or divert your path at this moment. That is 5 degrees of failure, as you are grabbed trying to leap over this mud-caked corpse.
Would you say that this mud is a location hazard?
The location hazard has not occurred here. So you do not have an additional competency. I am sorry. Lampwick, you feel the grasping, feeble hands upon your ankles, but it's just enough to pull you down, and you do fall. What is your threshold?
My threshold is, it says I see 5 bonus. It says
Your
SB
damage
plus W.
threshold should be, it's a 5 bonus is what you say?
Yeah, that's the only number I see.
Okay, so if you look right next to it on your character sheet, you'll have a number that is based on your strength and your wits, and then after that you have your bonus. So
strength is 2, 7.
Yeah. Or I'm sorry, your will, my fault.
And my will is 3, 2 are the 2 numbers.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so with a bonus of 5, you have a threshold therein. You take no damage as you are pulled to the ground. However, you do find yourself dropping the packs that you are holding.
Oof.
They tumble, one of the bags rips open, and oranges scatter out across the mud. Other items are sinking very quickly in the mud in the wet, soupy mess that you found yourself face down in. You are currently on the ground, and something is clawing itself closer and closer to you. There is another gunshot, as it seems that Abigail is working to very desperately try to alleviate some of the numbers of Romeros that are slowly pulling themselves out of this field.
Achira's gonna grab Lampwick to just yank him forward, leave it behind, and is going to instead slam the half a pack that he rescued before that she took up. Slam that onto him so that they can hopefully move forward.
Lampwick,
leaving behind what he dropped.
Lampwick, you need to give me your intention, as well as you, Juniper.
I am. I'm leaving that shit. I'm not gonna even bother with it. I'm trying to get out of the way, and if I see a hand in my vision that's extended to help me up, I'm grabbing hold and using it to help me get up and get out of there.
So if I understand you correctly, Lampwick, you are leaving behind all of the items that you brought with you from the safe house.
Yep. If that's what spilled into the goo, then that's where it stays. I'm not wrestling a freaking Romero to get some orange peels right now.
Juniper, what is your intention in this moment?
I guess I want to kind of like wait to see if I can shoot for a Romero that is near Lampwick and Achira that's like immediately going to, try to attack them. If there's anything nearby, to just shoot it.
There are a number of the dead that have risen within this field, and they are slowly, very slowly, perhaps more slowly than you've seen Romero's move in the past, push themselves slowly through, but they are making their way closer and closer to both of your allies. You can aim at one of them, so go ahead and make your ranged attack. You will not have any difficulties that will be added on my part. Lampwick, you're leaving behind everything, which means that I will not be imposing either speed dice or any difficulty dice for encumbrance. However, you are covered in mud. You are lying prone. I'm imposing 2 difficulty dice for you to be able to pull yourself out. This is a pull lift check. So I want you to make that as you're trying to get yourself up out of the sticky mud. Achira, you're trying to pull lift Lampwick out of this situation. So I would like for you to make the same. You are still, however, encumbered. So you will have the same speed dice and difficulty imposed. Lampwick, that is unbelievably 107.
Can I help in any way? I mean, I guess I kind of already declared my thing, but
I didn't even know that was possible.
You have 5 degrees of failure here, Lampwick. That is catastrophic. So I need to know if there's something that you can do to mitigate this or to change this situation.
I am. So I've dumped the goods that I picked up from there. I've dumped anything that I have on my person. Like if I still have my own bag, I'm dumping that. So I'm basically with nothing. I'm leaving everything I have behind, if I have anything left to leave behind, to try to get myself out of this mud. If that also means leaving my heavier coat behind too, then like if they're grabbing a hold of my coat and the only way to get out of it is by slipping out of it and leaving that behind, then I'll leave that behind as well.
Now, the first roll that you've made at Shira, was that the accurate roll, or did you need to make an adjustment to roll again?
No, that was with my 2 speed dice, 2 difficulty dice. This was my lift pull to get Lampwick out of the muck.
This is so the first roll, correct?
Yes, this was the first roll of just the lift pull to get us out of the muck and rolling.
Yeah. So, Juniper, your bow immediately fires. And Lampwick, the Romero that has pulled itself up behind you, you feel its claw-like fingers wrapping itself around your shoulders, and hot, stinking breath and maggots start raining themselves down across your face as mud pours across you. And in the moment before you know those teeth will find their home, a coral from a crossbow inserts itself into the eye of the creature that holds you. It does not fell the corpse, but it does slow it down. It drops you. Using your successes, Juniper, you have managed to fire at a Romero in a split moment before it clearly was going to bite Lampwick. That does not, however, mitigate the catastrophic failure that Lampwick has currently found himself in. Worse yet, Achira, you grab onto Lampwick's hand, pulling him forward out of the mud, also with 4 degrees of failure.
No, that one was a different one.
Okay, so this is your
with the 1 degree of success is the one for this encounter.
Okay, so you have 1 degree of success.
I would love to put forth that between myself and Juniper, we have a total of 4 degrees of success of trying to help this one individual who had 4 degrees of failure.
Yes, June has saved Lampwick's life.
Okay.
That arrow, Coral, prevented him from taking a bite to the neck. I think I was more than kind about that.
Thank you for.
You have managed to succeed with 1 degree of success. Is there anything else that you wish to do, or is this how it will resolve itself? With 1 degree.
Well, it would be awesome. You know what? I'm gonna put the other competency point in there because it would be great if I could even snag even something from the packs where it's just like once again, Lampwick jettisoned everything and Achira had to take something back.
I will give you this option, Achira. You can save half a pack, or you can save Lampwick's ankle. I will reduce Lampwick's failure by 2 degrees, or you can gain an entire half a pack of wear. Snatching it up, you will be able to save those goods. Or you can choose to save Lampwick's ankle.
What's Abigail gonna do? Is she gonna pick up some stuff, maybe? Hang it out there.
Flip a coin.
Yeah, Abigail hasn't done anything yet.
You know
so
what?
maybe...
Yeah.
Abigail
you know
has been
what?
firing at the other Romeros in the distance. I highly recommend you talk to Melee about what she could have been doing here to assist you. I am here to facilitate the furtherment of the story and make sure that the character makes it home.
All right, Shira.
Yeah, I've got a D6 here. Odds, your ankle is saved. Evens, the pack is saved.
Leaving it
that's
to
fair.
fate. I appreciate that.
It's a 1. Odds. Chira saves Lampwick's ankle.
You look at the pack that is right next to you, knowing that you could grab it, but you also look at the precarious situation that Lampwick is in. His foot is still mired deeply in that mud. And the way that you're pulling him and the way that he's throwing himself forward, you're certain that he would have horribly twisted his ankle trying to regain a standing composure in this moment. However, you immediately, foregoing the pack, shove yourself underneath his weight and pry him up. With every ounce of strength that you can summon, you pull Lampwick forward. Lampwick, you do not suffer any damage as you stand. However, both of you are miserably covered in mud as you see the figures far off in the grass, and you see 2 forms moving past you. The old woman and the ill young man push past you to the road. Abigail is now covering you, and you hear gunshot after gunshot, but each of these cracks of the rifle makes more and more noise. June, you and Sunny are witnessing all of this. This isn't good.
No, it's very bad. Should we go get them? Is it too?
Your allies need to make their way here. We need to fall back. The walls are the only thing that can protect us now, and hopefully you haven't risen too many of these things. We don't have time to deal with this. There's plenty of other work to do.
Okay, let's go.
You and Sunny begin falling back, June, and Lampwick, Achira, as you reach the road, Abigail is standing there covering you. Keep going. I'll take care of this as best I can for now. Just keep moving, and you know what? Just go.
Chira goes.
I'm going. I don't have anything on me anymore. So I say to Abigail, like,
Chira throws the half pack that she has.
That's right.
Abigail gives you another half pack, so you are now carrying a pack worth of items. As Abigail continues to fire, covering your retreat, all of you push down the road. Miraculously, your guests seem unharmed. They are not moving as fast as you are. They are still in the road between you and Abigail. Do you slow or assist them in any way? It is not a trick question. It is just
No.
a question.
I'm not getting near them.
They seem to be doing pretty good,
Right.
already.
We're
not going to mess with their mojo.
They
So,
are now covered knee deep in mud, so that perfection of their garments has been ruined. However, they are apparently unharmed and do not seem to have taken any bites as they escaped from that field.
As I run past them, keeping my distance, I am gonna check on them as I go past, and I'm gonna ask them, "Are you good?"
You have given us your grace. Thank you. We will do our best on the road. You have thankfully created enough of a distraction that we could move forward. Bless you, my son.
That's exactly what we were intending to do.
As Achira runs past, she goes, "God helps those that help themselves."
Eventually, Abigail begins moving back, firing as the road is slowly being consumed with these mud-covered corpses that are shambling out of this field slowly. Most of them, from the weight of the mud, are barely able to stand, and thankfully they are very, very slow. Much less dangerous when they're on the road than they were in the field, because in the field, you were uncertain as to where you might step, where a hand may grasp you. Here, they are sorely disadvantaged and ponderously pull themselves forward, snapping and slashing forward, hoping to grab onto one of you, though it is futile. All of you move forward to the gates, and June, you are the first, followed along with Sunny. And as Sunny stops, her gloved hand pounds on the gate 3 times and then one softer lower knock. A moment later, you hear a bar made of steel sliding on the other side, and the double doors of the gated community open up to you. Sunny looks to you, Juniper. Her face covered in sweat. She is clearly frustrated by the situation and says to you, "Welcome to Grey Ridge."
What's your full name?
Get inside.
Okay.
All of you step through the gateway, rushing past. This woman stands there, and as soon as you pass through the tall wooden gateways, you immediately notice that others are there. There is a half circle of well-armed individuals. Rifles, guns, bows and arrows, axes, and clubs held in hand. The night is slowly descending upon you as the gates close. A very tall man with a bald head and a network of scars across his face. His lower jaw is set from what was clearly a fairly bad break at one point. Lumbers forward, glowering at all of you. "We're going to have to take care of that mess that you just made. I hope that what you bring, Rag and Bone, is well worth the piece that we lose tonight. You work and you help us put them down, or you don't sleep behind these walls. Do we understand each other?"
We're here to help, and we're happy to do it. There's no need for you to act as if we're unwilling. And I just, whatever pack I have here, I drop it in front of them. So here's your delivery.
The
Let's
large
go.
man's eyes dart to all of you.
Achira reaches into her half a pack. I believe she has half a pack left right now. Reaches into her half a pack and pulls out an orange, and just stands there staring at him as she starts peeling it around.
From behind the
And then-
large man, a woman appears. She is dressed in a pair of well-worn overalls with cowboy boots and a flannel shirt that is fairly well maintained. Her hair is pulled back and she has dark skin and dark hair. And as she looks to all of you with her deep, wise brown eyes, you see a network of wrinkles across her face. Sanderson, that's enough. They've had a long road. I'm sure they didn't intend for this to happen. My name is Dr. Maria Espinosa. If you work, you find safety. That's how we all live. Thank you for bringing the oranges. And that's where we're going to leave it tonight. This has been our tale, and our journey is far from over. We have so much to thank all of you for your time and for your concentration, for giving us the opportunity to allow you into this world so that you can support and help build the communities that these characters are discovering. As you make choices using both the Foreteller's Scry program and the other offerings that we will give you here at Hunters Entertainment, hopefully this world can continue to grow. Be sure to join us this weekend, as Hunters Gathering will be performing a special offering that is specifically geared towards the Roll20 Con. I want to thank JB Jara and Alex for helping us to maintain what we are doing here every week with Outbreak, Rag, and Bone. I want to thank everyone at Hunters, and I especially want to thank the players. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for trusting me. And to the rest of you, stay safe. We will return. There is more to tell you. Find your way back here next Tuesday. Thank you.